Hello everyone and welcome back to another Mindful Maze and Chats video. Today I'm going to be sharing Holo Taco's brand new jelly sandwich collection. This is a 7-piece collection which consists of 5 new jellies and 2 toppers. I think this collection is gonna be very hit or miss. That is my prediction for how this collection will do. You're either gonna love the jellies and like the sheerness of them, or you're gonna actually hate it. So I'm really excited to kind of see what you guys' takes are, how you guys feel about them. This is Holo Taco's first official foray into just plain jellies. They did do the retro jellies a few years ago, which featured scattered holographic glitter in them. And while they do share some similarities, between this collection and that one, it seems like they have really reformulated this new jelly formula, so it doesn't play the exact same way as the other ones. I think they kind of responded to the feedback from those and tried something else out. So I'm curious to see how you guys end up feeling about those changes. In today's video, I'm obviously going to be swatching these for you because Holo Taco graciously sent me this collection in PR for me to review for you guys. And I'm also going to be sharing comparisons to other polishes I have in my collection, as well as sharing some dupes that I personally don't have in my collection, but I think could be close. And in this video, because of the theme of jelly sandwiches, I am also going to be showing a few combos that I've picked out that I think would look good with these polishes. So I'll show you guys. I think they came out so fun. I love, love, love layering. Of course, I'm going to be sharing at the end of this video some of my other videos that I've done where we try out a bunch of toppers and like jelly polishes because it's so fun, and I think it's kind of the exact theme that this collection is kind of going for. So I'm very excited to get right into it. So let's get started. For our first shade, we have In My Peelings, which is a warm orange marmalade shade in the sheer buildable coverage jelly formula. I was surprised initially that Holo Taco wanted to release an orange shade just because honestly on just 1 or 2 coats it does look like your nails are just stained orange, and I know orange isn't the most popular shade for them, but overall I'm super happy because personally I really do love a juicy orange. I feel like it looks like I just bit right into a clementine, and I think this one did end up building up quite nicely. And overall I feel like it was a pretty good shade, so I feel like if you're hesitant to check this one out, I would recommend it just because I think it builds up so nicely. For the next shade, we have Glossed and Found. This one is described as a bright watermelon pink shade in a sheer buildable coverage jelly formula. And of course, I feel like everyone loves a pink jelly in just 1 coat. It's, I think, a little bit too sheer, but in 2 coats you kind of build up the tint a little bit. And originally I was also surprised that they would do another pink jelly just because we do have Icon on board from the Bon Voyage collection last year, which was another bright pink jelly. So I do compare those two later in the video, but they are more different than I thought they would be just based on first impressions. Glossed and Found is definitely a lot warmer toned, and it does lean a little bit more red than Icon on board does. Our next shade in the collection is Grape Expectations. This one is described as a grape purple shade in a sheer buildable coverage jelly formula. I feel like now is a good time to start talking about that quote-unquote sheer buildable coverage. Look guys, this is coat 2, and I feel like for some other jellies this might look like coat 1, and honestly putting on a 3rd coat I feel like doesn't help all that much. I was kind of disappointed with the coverage for this collection. It's not what I was expecting, and I'll get into that later on in the video, but just overall I would have definitely preferred if some of these polishes were a lot more opaque. Obviously not like a full crelly, and I enjoy translucent jelly, but this one just feels like a little bit too sheer, and I don't really know if a lot of people are going to gravitate towards that sheerness. Part of me also wonders if my nail staining is playing a factor in the color outcome of this shade. I feel like it leans a little bit more pink than purple, and I wonder if that's because my nails are stained yellow. For our next shade in the collection, I think it might also be affected by my nail staining. This one is Meltdown, which is described as an aqua blue raspberry syrup shade in the sheer buildable coverage jelly formula. This one I really do like and appreciate this shade. It does look exactly like a melted blue raspberry icy, if you're familiar, and honestly it looks so juicy. I love the shade color that it is, but overall this one is also really sheer. I mean, guys, look, this is 3 coats, and honestly I thought it could be just due to the application that I'm doing, so I did swatch this polish on my fiance as well, but it looked a little bit more like blue, but still honestly not anywhere as opaque as I would like it to be. For our next shade, this had a similar issue. This one is Sky High, which is described as a royal sky blue shade in a sheer buildable coverage jelly formula. This one is one that, like I said, also had the same issue. Even in 3 coats, it was still very sheer, which was very disappointing to me. I mean, again, maybe you could point to my staining and maybe even look a little bit more opaque on someone who didn't have staining. Like my fiance, it did look a little bit better on him, but still, I guess nowhere near the kind of opacity that I feel like Holo Taco has been advertising for these shades. I mean, calling this buildable, I really don't know how to feel about that, if I'm being honest. This is what the shade looked like next to some marking material that I was sent, and I mean, just judge for yourself, guys. I feel like the difference is pretty large. Of course, I also have to show you guys the 2 toppers. This one is Picnic Party Taco, which is described as a multicolored pastel hex glitter topper in a clear base. Some of these read almost like a holographic / iridescent. I don't think it's officially in there, but they do like have a kind of shine to them that I really appreciate. And I do think this one definitely looks best in 2 coats as well, because in 1 coat you get like a few of the hex glitters, but I feel like the full look looks a lot better in 2 coats in my personal opinion. So really quickly, I'll throw on a 2nd coat so you guys can kind of see the difference. But I do think that this topper looks the best over like a pink shade. I think it was so fun, and I think they look really good together. Next up, I'm going to throw on a coat of Butterfly Taco, which is described as a silver holographic butterfly shaped glitter topper in a clear base with added scattered and flaky hollow glitters. I do really like the addition of the flaky hollow glitters in this one, because I think it really, adds a little bit something extra, even if it's very subtle. The way I kind of put these on there is kind of fishing them out of the bottle, so just kind of put the brush in and out to kind of see, you get a brush stroke with a bunch of the butterflies on them, and then apply just like you would normally another polish. So overall, I really like this one. It's similar to Holo Taco's Shooting Star Taco, but I think that one didn't have the flaky glitters in them, and I really do like this polish because of it, and I think it looks so cute over the colors in this collection. I feel like this shade looks so like Y2K and Zara Larson coated. I love it. Now I want to get into some combos that I came up with for the polishes in this collection, because I feel like the whole jelly sandwich thing is really popular. So of course I love trying toppers over other shades. This one I tried Gold Scattered Holo Taco from their Winter Advent collection over in my peelings, which is the bright orange. I absolutely adore this combo. It really brings out those warm tones. For the next one, I'm putting Everything Taco over Meltdown, especially because I think Everything Taco is so dense, so it kind of hides that sheerness of Meltdown, and I think they complement each other so well. It's kind of hard to see in like bright light, but in that indirect light, I think this combo looks absolutely great. So I really do like how this one came out. I did want to experiment a little more with Sky High, and I thought, that almost dusty color that it is would look good underneath like a black flake taco. I'm personally using Polish for Days Lights Out, but I know Holo Taco has a very similar shade, which by the way are supposedly getting discontinued soon, so if you like those, I would recommend picking them up. And then I did also want to try layering these shades because I feel like they were kind of just asking for it. So here I put Grape Expectations and really brought out those more like cooler tones. And guys, it's kind of sad, even with 4 coats, this still looks super, super sheer. So I did want to go ahead and add on another coat of Polish for Days Lights Out. And honestly, I think that kind of brings everything together and looks like more one cohesive look. And I feel like you can't even tell that it's like a bunch of polishes layered on top of each other, or maybe you can, I don't know. But either way, I'm pretty satisfied with this combo, and I would definitely recommend experimenting more with layering the polishes over each other and doing the jelly sandwich, of course. And then of course, I had to show you guys the surprise 2 nail arts that I did. This one was a really cute, kind of like a Y2K one that I loved with the butterflies and the holographic. And here you can see how the polishes look really well together, even in kind of a lazy gradient kind of style, which by the way, if you want some tips on how to do a look like this, check out my latest video. And now we'll get into the comparisons. This one, I just have Royalty Blue because honestly, guys, I wish I would have showed you the bottles. They look so similar, but in real life, they're not dupes. For the Meltdown, I think it actually looks pretty similar to Holo Taco's Be Kind Rewind, but of course, not anywhere near as opaque as that one. And Verdigris Jelly leans a little bit more teal, and of course, Bring Me the Teal is nowhere near as like sheer as Meltdown, but in the bottle they look so similar, if you can believe it. In my peelings ended up being a lot more punchy than it was compared to Box Office Bomb, but I'm gonna be honest, I think my Box Office Bomb has faded a little bit, so that could be due to the discrepancy. For the pinks, on the left there, you're gonna see Icon on Board, which on camera they look closer, but in real life you can really see that Gloss and Found is like half as opaque as Icon on Board. So if you're looking for that bright neon, I definitely recommend Icon on Board. And then Gloss and Found is more of a warmer, subtle shade of pink. And then XOXO Jelly is very close to Gloss and Found, but just more opaque in my opinion. For Grape Expectations, this one also looked pretty similar to Antihero. So I also quickly wanted to go over some dupes that I have found and gathered for you guys. I'm not claiming that these are exact one-to-one dupes, but if you're looking for something similar and usually a little bit cheaper than these Holo Taco ones, I'll start off like in rainbow order. So for the first one, Glossed and Found, of course, I would say that Cirque Colors XOXO Jelly is pretty similar. I would say that Cirque Colors Poppy Jelly as well as ILNP Malibu Jelly look to be along the same vein, like a reddish pink. And then for Holo Tacos in my peelings, I think some good dupes could be Cirque Colors Amber Jelly as well as ILNP Tango. They both seem to be very like rich, punchy oranges. So I think those would look good. For Holo Taco's new Grape Expectations, I think a comparable jelly would be from Cirque Colors with their Royal Jelly. Although this one might lean a little bit more cool toned. It's kind of, your personal preference. For Holo Taco's Meltdown, I would recommend Cirque Colors Curacao Jelly as well as ILNP's Turquoise Water. That one came out in their watercolor collection last year and looks really pretty and seems to emulate that blue raspberry color. The last recommendation I would have for you guys is for Holo Taco's Sky High. I would recommend Cirque Colors Cobalt Jelly. Let me know if you guys think of any more jellies. I know that Night Owl Lacquer also is very popular for their jellies, and I'm probably missing a couple other brands. I know Cracked also has jellies, but I wanted to at least give you like 1 or 2 options that would be similar to these ones. But if there's any other recommendations you guys think are even closer, definitely recommend them in the comments below. Also for Picnic Party Taco, I know that Glam Polish has a ton of glitter toppers, but I couldn't find one that looked exactly like this. I really do think the Holo Taco one is pretty unique in my opinion, upon second glance. But when you first look at it, it's like, okay, I've seen a million like glitter toppers, but I really do like that it's pastel and it has like the hollow ones in there as well. So overall, I liked that topper more than I thought I would, but I couldn't find an exact dupe for it. I know that KB Shimmer also has a couple ones that are similar, but overall could not find anything. Alrighty everyone, be honest, what did you think? Personally, I'm feeling whelmed. I don't love, I'm not like obsessed as I wish I would have been. It's hard to explain why because I have so many jellies and I'm a jelly lover, guys. Like, love a jelly. But these feel more like shears, if that makes any sense. Like, almost like just very lightly tinted. And I do like the impact of the brightness and how saturated they can be, but honestly, we got like a card showing all the swatches on there, and I'm like, yeah, I don't think any of my polishes swatched look like they did on there. So I'm very curious to see how they advertise these in the swatches on the website. I know the sneak peeks that they have been putting out, they seem to be pretty opaque, but at least in my experience, you know, maybe this batch was not representative of the other batches, but I feel like in the marketing, these look a lot more opaque, but in real life, they are very, very, very sheer. And I like a sheer jelly, but it was just not the impression that I was given based off of the marketing material. And maybe, you know, they're gonna come out with some more that will kind of go into depth on the opacity of the polishes, but overall, it makes me hesitant because people already, you know, kind of don't really love jellies, especially I think Holo Taco customers who are really looking for that rich opacity, which is totally valid as well. But if this is going to be their first foray into jellies, I guess I wish it would have been more opaque, more similar to their retro jellies that they did, which I loved those and I still have them. However, I do feel a little bit misrepresented just based on what I have seen. And you guys, I am being extremely transparent, just like these jellies, but I would be disappointed if I was a customer. And like I said, maybe it's just the pictures I've seen so far and maybe other ones, you know, swatchers do it differently, but that did kind of put a little bit of a damper on things when I was reviewing them because I really expected them to be something else and they weren't. So now if I look at it from a lens where maybe they were originally marketed to be like super sheer, then I would think these are great. Like, love. I love the colors, like the color palette, super fun. I love a bright orange. I love like a raspberry pink. I think that almost teal leaning blue raspberry shade is so fun. I love a rich purple, like, love. The only thing I wish is that there was a green. So badly do I wish there was like a true green in this polish. And I feel like it would have gone so well with the collection because it's like kind of picnic themed in a way. And like grass, like hello, maybe like a lime jelly or just like a true like Kelly green. Like, I just love green though. So anyway, that's just one thing that I was really looking forward to when I first heard about the collection, but nonetheless, I do really like the formula or the color palette that we have now. It does remind me a lot of the ILNP watercolor collection that I think came out last year. So I think a lot of people will probably point out the similarities there as well. Cirque Colors also has like 1,000,001 jellies that these basically have dupes for. So that's kind of another thing. So with just so much competition in like the jelly market, I'm surprised that Holo Taco kind of went almost like a different route and made them like super sheer. Again, maybe this was just a non-representative batch. Maybe that's just the way they wanted to do it. I don't know. But it did like throw me off a little bit because I have a lot of Cirque Colors jellies and I love them. And you know, sometimes they do vary between like more opaque and more like milky and more like clear jelly-ish. So there is some variety, but overall, was thrown off a little bit by that. The formulas on them are good. It's hard to describe, almost what they apply like. It's weird to say, but they do kind of apply like a jelly on like a piece of toast. Like, not sticky, but not like runny either. Like, it's not watery at all. I don't know. It's a good formula. Like, it's very workable. I think they self-leveled really, really good. So overall, all the things you kind of want in a jelly, except they feel very sheer, like more sheer than I thought they would be. But again, if you like a sheer jelly, I think you will love these. And I am looking forward to more polishes in this formula because, like I said, I love jellies. And I think this was a solid attempt at Holo Taco to try them out. The toppers as well, I think, really add into that whole thing. I think also partially maybe the reason why they made them more sheer is so that when you layer other toppers with them, they kind of really shine through, because that is one thing when you have the more milky and opaque jellies, it's really hard to kind of layer them because you basically can't see anything after another coat, or maybe not as much as you would like. With these, you can see everything. Like, when you put another coat on top, it does like nothing. Like, it's like almost like stained glass almost. These are very, very sheer and like translucent, and that is great for layering with toppers and even mixing like other jellies on top. So bonus points for that. Overall, if I had to give this collection a ranking, I would kind of give it like a 7 out of 10. I do really like the theme, the color palette, the fact that we get 2 new toppers in it that are like super fun. And of course, I do love jellies, and I'm glad the Holo Taco is trying them out. So I didn't hate it. It just really threw me off that it feels like some of the swatches are misleading. But honestly, that could just be due to a lot of different factors. So I don't know. It kind of did throw me off. But overall, 7.5 out of 10 is what I'll give this collection. So overall, I think a very good attempt. And I would say if you like more sheer jellies, which are really good for layering and putting toppers over, then would highly recommend this collection. If you like those kind of warm, like sunset colors, I think you'd probably enjoy this collection a lot. But if you're looking for something more opaque and have a lot of pigment in it, would definitely not recommend this collection to you. The formulas are really good, like I said, very easy to work with and kind of play around with, which I think Holo Taco was probably trying, to do, trying to make them more like user-friendly. I just wish they had a little bit more opacity in there. But like I said again, maybe it's just my batch. Maybe it's just my package that kind of had that issue. I don't know. There's no way to find out at this point. But overall, still really like the collection. And if you're looking for more jellies, I would say give them a shot if you're looking for something more transparent. Let me know any and all thoughts down in the comments below, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.